pushed an old woman out the way to grab this. Hi BookTube, it's Marianne at Boneless book, and today I have a book haul. So I went into the Works today with the intent of buying history non-fiction books for the history challenge that's coming up on the 17th of August. I will put links to the videos of the announcements from the hosts in the description box if you're interested. I love non-fiction, I love history, so it was right up my street and I am absolutely buzzing for it. But unfortunately they only had like World War One, World War Two era non-fiction, and I've already got loads of that and I don't really need any more. So I gave it a pass. But while I was in there I thought, I'll have a browse, I'll see what they've got, just to have a look, and then sure as fate I ended up buying books. And I don't need any more. I don't need any more books. I only need the books for the challenge, but I have no self-control. And then I went to buy uniforms at ASDA for my children, and then I ended up buying another 2 books in there. And then I came home and looked at books online, but I didn't check out the baskets, so that says something about my character. I have a sliver, tiny sliver of self-control. So the first thing I picked up when I went into the Works was 2 bookmarks. I always buy bookmarks whenever I go into the Works because they donate 20% of the profits from their bookmarks to Cancer Research UK. So I got a little cute bee one, and I got a little galaxy print one that says the book was definitely better, which is usually true. So I stand by that statement. It's a bold statement, but it's a true statement. So the first 3 books I got were in the 3 for £5 offer, 3 fiction books. I got The Chalk Man by CJ Tudor. This is a thriller book. It's centred around a character called Eddie. It starts in the late 1980s where he is a teenager and he comes across this chalk man who teaches him how to leave secret messages for his friends. Unfortunately, that ends up leading them towards a dead body. And then fast forward 30 years, it's all over and done with, it's all done. Eddie gets posted to him an envelope which contains a piece of chalk and a figure of a chalk man. So the story starts all over again. I imagine that it's going to be the same sort of series of events. There's clues that get led to a dead body, and you see where it goes from there. So I'm super excited because there was really good reviews on this from Stephen King, and I'm a massive Stephen King fan, so I'm really looking forward to that. The second one I got was Vox by Christine Dalcher, and it is a dystopian future novel which is sort of reminiscent of The Handmaid's Tale from what I've read. The reviews have been very polarising. It seems to be either really love it or you hate it. So I'm interested to see on what side of the fence I end up on, because I wasn't a massive fan of The Handmaid's Tale. But anyway, so this dystopian future, a new government's taking over and women have been stripped of their rights. They are no longer allowed to work, they're no longer allowed to learn. Everything's just, they're back to subservient, empty beings. And the character Jean, which the book is centred around, she's only allowed to speak 100 words per day, and if she goes over 100 words per day, she is violently electrocuted with 1,000 volts of electricity. So I'm assuming that the story will be her trying to break free of this regime that is currently demeaning these women and stripping them of their rights, to enable her and her daughter to escape, and I assume free the other women from the miserable life that they're currently leading. So I'm looking forward to picking that up. I'll be interested to see if I prefer this to The Handmaid's Tale. We'll see how that goes. And the third book I picked up was The Boneless Mercies by April Genevieve Tucholke. I think I pronounced that properly. I am not entirely sure, and I'm really sorry if I didn't. So this story is a YA fantasy book, and it's based around 4 boneless mercies. Now, boneless mercies are basically death traders. Their job is to kill as swiftly and quickly and quietly as possible, and the four that it is centred on, one of them catches wind that there is someone out there absolutely slaughtering innocent men, women, and children, and sees that as an opportunity where the Boneless Mercies can sort of change their fate and turn things around. So I'm not normally a fan of YA. I do occasionally dabble in YA fantasy. So I'm willing to pick this up and give it a go. The reviews I've seen on it have been really positive, so I think it's going to be good. The next 4 books I picked up were actually part of a box set. These were reduced from $31.96 down to £5. Now, I already have the first one of these, well, I already had the first one of these on my Amazon wishlist. And the books were actually £6.50 on Amazon and $7.99 in Waterstones to buy them individually. So to get all 4 for less than the price of one, I really couldn't turn my nose up at it, and I had to buy them. So basically, it's a series called DC Icons, and it's YA superhero fiction, and the DC sort of buddied up with popular YA fantasy authors to create a series of novels. Now, I love superheroes, but I do not necessarily enjoy graphic novels the same way that I do with sort of just standard print books. And the reason for that is I find illustrations really distracting. Even in standard print books, if there's illustrations, or even if like there's a like multimedia, like a mixed media style thing where you've got texts and emails and things like that, I find it really distracting, and I can't properly enjoy what it is I'm reading and take in the information that I need to take in to be able to follow a story. So when I found these, I was absolutely delighted, and I thought, again, YA fantasy, I might as well pick them up, see how they are. So the 4 stories are based around the four different characters, and they're all coming of age stories. So the first one is a Wonder Woman story called Warbringer, and basically it is a story where Wonder Woman is trying to prove herself to her fellow Amazon warriors and sisters that she is just as worthy, just as strong, just as brave as the rest of them, but breaks a code by saving a mortal. And unfortunately, the mortal that she saves is like a descendant of Helen of Troy and a Warbringer. So the two of them end up having to work together to prevent this all-out war that is going to destroy the world. So I'm quite looking forward to see how that goes. Because I love the Wonder Woman movie. The second book is Batman Nightwalker by Marie Lu. And this is obviously a Batman story. So the story is based around a 17-year-old Bruce Wayne who ends up getting into trouble on his 18th birthday and ends up doing community service in Arkham, and finds out that there's going to be a threat to Gotham, and couples up with a female criminal within Arkham. Doesn't know whether to trust her or not. He just has to kind of play it by ear and see if they can save Gotham at the end of the day. The third book is Catwoman, Soulstealer by Sarah J. Maas, and the premise of this one is Selena Kyle, i.e. Catwoman, is back in Gotham, masquerading as some sort of socialite, and she ends up working with Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn to stage a massive heist, and basically I believe it just follows them wreaking havoc around Gotham City, so I'm quite looking forward to that. And then the one that I'm looking least forward to, unfortunately, is Superman Dawnbreaker by Matt Della Peña, and the only reason I'm not looking forward to it is because I don't really like Superman. Just can't warrant him. So this is set in Smallville, and Clark Kent's trying to keep himself kind of flying under the radar and keeping himself to himself, but he has suspicions that there's something sort of sinister afoot, and is going to be a threat to his future as Superman. So I don't really know much more about the story than that. I'm still going to read it because I have it here, and it would really annoy me if I had started the series of books and not finished it. But hopefully it'll be a nice surprise though. It's just every incarnation that there has been of a Superman over the years I've never really enjoyed, whether it be in animated format, graphic novel format, movie, TV series. I've never been a massive Superman fan. I'm more of a Batman kind of gal. So the last book that I got in the works is non-fiction, and it is Forensics: The Anatomy of Crime by Val McDermid. Now, if you're on BookTube, you probably already know who Val McDermid is. She's a crime novelist, and this book is a work of non-fiction where she combines interviews that she has done with forensic experts along with research that she herself has done and her own life experiences to put together a comprehensive piece of non-fiction that explores forensic science from its humble beginnings all the way through to modern day. And I'm really, 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 really looking forward to reading this because, again, it's been on my Amazon wish list for ages, and I haven't got around to buying it. So when I saw it reduced to like £3 today, I went, well, this is just the perfect opportunity. Can't say no. Need to pick it up. Because my childhood dream, which is perfectly normal for a young girl, was to be a forensic pathologist. Because I was obsessed growing up with like CSI and stuff like that. So that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to perform autopsies and things like that and work in crime scenes. But I left school when I was 17 after a bout of bullying, and kind of gave up that dream then. Now, I suppose I could go back and do it now, but you know, I've got kids. I've already did makeup artistry at college, so you never know. There's still time. But yeah, this is supposed to be really good, and I'm excited. I've got a lot of forensics style books on my bookshelf that I've really enjoyed. My only concern is I like my non-fiction to be quite specific, and usually when I buy a book that is non-fiction, it's on one specific thing. So if I'm going to buy a book about forensics, normally I would pick like toxicology or pathology or fingerprinting. I would pick a sort of niche category of a book or whatever. Do you know what I mean? That doesn't make sense. Anyway, but she sort of explores all disciplines of forensic science in this, and it's only 300 pages, so I don't imagine that there's going to be a particularly in-depth exploration of each category, but I'm still looking forward to it nonetheless. And again, that's one of the ones I'm most looking forward to getting through. So when I had went into ASDA, I had to walk past the book section to get to the travelator to get to the uniforms. So I thought, may as well just stop and have a little look. And then ended up buying 2 books anyway. But to be fair, they were in the 2 for £8 offer, so I actually saved £1 on them. So who's the fool? Not me. So the first book I got was Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. Again, I'm really bad with pronouncing names, so I'm so sorry if I pronounced this wrong. And this story, novel, book centres around 12 characters living in modern day Britain, and it's basically exploring race, motherhood, their own identity, and the sort of the reality of living in modern Britain. And the reason that I picked this up is because I've seen so many positive reviews on it, and also I believe that it was this one that I had seen Nicola Sturgeon, our First Minister in Scotland, talking about. Let me check. I'll have a look online, but I'm 99% sure that was where I had first heard of it. Plus, it won the Booker Prize in 2019, and it's apparently a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful book, and I cannot wait to read it. It says here that the story follows 12 very different characters on an entwined journey of discovery. So instead of um, 12 individual stories, they're all sort of um, intermingled with each other. So that's exciting stuff. Like I said, I've seen so many positive reviews that I am genuinely excited to read it. Again, another one that was in my Amazon wishlist that I was able to tick off, as was the Boneless, Mercies and Vox and the Chalk Man. And the final book, and my camera just cut off there, thanks very much. And the last book that I picked up was The Body, A Guide for Occupants by Bryson. And I am so excited to pick this up because I have wanted it for ages, and any time I went into a bookshop or a supermarket or whatever, they only had the hardback version, and I've got weird tendons in my wrists, and I can't hold a hardback for too long or else it gets really sore. So I'm better with like paperbacks or a Kindle. I'm reading a hardback now actually, and I'm having to keep rest between every couple of chapters because it's getting achy. So I saw this in paperback in ASDA, and I snatched it off the shelf. And I mean snatched. Like, I pushed an old woman out the way to grab this. I didn't really push an old woman out the way. She was standing beside me, and I said, "Excuse me, do you mind if I grab that, please? Thanks very much." So this is basically an exploration of the human body, what it does, bits about the organs, how it heals, how it regenerates, and again, like the forensic situation, I've read loads of books about biology and the human body and stuff like that, but I just feel like you can't have enough education when it comes to science. So I'm super buzzing about reading this, and it's like 500 pages long, so I know for a fact there's going to be loads of detail involved. I have noticed flicking through there that there are pages of photography and things like that. Can't do this way. Rather than them being stuck in the middle of pages, because again, like I had said, my issue comes with illustrations being stuck in the middle of pages. So I'm glad that the photography is on separate pages. I am so excited to read this. But yeah, so that's the book haul. Hope you enjoyed it. Book haul? Oofed.
That's a bit cool. Hope you enjoyed it.
So that is the book haul. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Happy reading. See you later.